Redlining, a presentation by Charlotte Coates. What is it? What does this map show? These are the homes that were redlined in a Chicago neighborhood in 1938. This area was populated mostly by people of color and by people having to survive while living under the poverty level. It shows the literal red that indicates the people who live in these homes are not worthy of credit, simply based on their race or economic backgrounds. How does that affect communities? The communities that have been redlined are made up of hardworking, innovative individuals who have a lot to give their communities. The lack of funding have caused these people to lose out on home ownership, as well as not allowing small businesses that would contribute to community growth and health to prosper within these communities. By cutting off funding, banks effectively hinder all community growth. Well, aren't there laws against that? There are 4 major laws against that, starting with the Fair Housing Act of 1968, which is a part of the Civil Rights Act. It prohibits discrimination in housing-related lending based on race, color, religion, national origin, sex, handicap, or familial status. There's also the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. This act prohibits discrimination in credit transactions, including those related to residential and real estate. The Home Mortgage Disclosure Act of 1975 and the Community Reinvestment Act of 1977 require banks to maintain certain records and to make those records public so that the public can see that they are committing to ensuring their own community's health and wellness when it comes to creditworthiness. Well, that means it doesn't happen anymore, right? Right? Well, in 2013, Washington Trust Company agreed to pay $9 million to settle allegations of redlining in Rhode Island. Ameris Bank agreed to pay $9 million to settle allegations of redlining in Jacksonville, Florida. And the Justice Department brought the largest redlining lawsuit in history against City National Bank in Los Angeles. The bank has been accused of discriminating against Black and Latino communities by refusing to underwrite mortgages and avoiding marketing in those neighborhoods between 2017 and 2020. That settlement case cost $31 million. In 2024, the Citadel Federal Credit Union agreed to pay over $6.5 million to settle allegations of redlining in and around Philadelphia. The Justice Department has created a redlining task force to focus on racial discrimination in financial services, and the DOJ has brought 13 redlining settlements against banks since 2021. There are over 24 active redlining investigations as of today. Well, what can we do about it as bankers? We can conduct community needs assessments and make sure that we understand the credit needs in the high minority tracts within our communities. We can create fair lending communities and task force to focus on action steps to address potential redlining. And we can review and revise marketing strategies and advertising activities to make sure we are addressing the underserved minority tracts in our communities. There also needs to be some sort of way to determine what kind of community outreach and financial literacy programs should be implemented in our areas. So you look for the gaps and find out how we can fill them. And there also needs to be a system of checks and balances to track and analyze all advertising and outreach activities to ensure that they are effective. And as bankers, we cannot hesitate to turn in financial institutions that are illegally following redlining practices. It is our ethical duty to turn them in to the Justice Department's housing discrimination line. And if you yourself are a consumer who feel like you have been the victim of redlining, there are people to reach out to. There is help out there. Please call the number on your screen or contact the National Fair Housing Alliance online. If you'd like to do a deep dive, I will leave these references in the comments section because it's all of our duties as bankers to understand what we are up against, because it's time for us to erase all the red lines.